Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
2 new jobs are being created and a piece of property is up for sale as the UAW tries to set rules to prevent another scandal.
A football star at Michigan State with high hopes at NFL success is now looking at a year in jail over a fight with police.
From roommate to murder suspect, a woman from Metro Detroit in custody accused of killing a student with whom she lived. Topping our news tonight at 6, a story that has been making big headlines in Georgia.
Right, but not here in Michigan until now. The victim, Alexis Crawford, a student at Clark Atlanta University, was strangled to death. Police say the responsible parties are Auburn Hills native Jordan Jones and her boyfriend.
Sean Lay now live with new information on what may have happened between these 2 roommates. Sean.
Devin, this case is absolutely stunning, turning Atlanta upside down here because we're talking about 2 college roommates who the victim's family spokesperson says were absolute best friends. But you're right. Jordan Jones from right here in Auburn Hills now being held without bond tonight in her roommate's murder. Hi, Sean Lay from Channel 4 News. A woman at the door of this Auburn Hills home said she would speak to us, but she never answered the door again. Out front, several cars with stickers showing they are proud parents of a Clark University student in Atlanta. That student is their daughter, 21-year-old Jordan Jones. Jones on social media says she's a graduate of Avondale High School in Auburn Hills, but tonight she sits in an Atlanta jail charged with felony murder. The victim, her college roommate, Alexis Crawford. It's a case that has captivated Atlanta and the country. Aisha Howard is a reporter for 11 Alive News in Atlanta, covering the case.
It is complete and utter shock just thinking about these young women, even the young man involved, and just these young lives coming to an end in such a tragic way. People can't believe this.
Crawford went missing earlier this month, sparking frantic searches weeks before she filed a sexual assault complaint against Jones's boyfriend. The boyfriend telling police that he allegedly strangled Alexis Crawford, and it was Jordan Jones who allegedly put a trash bag over her head. The 21-year-old's body was found dumped in a park.
This case has absolutely devastated the headlines here and all across the country. You will be hard pressed to go anywhere in Metro Atlanta and people are not talking about this, especially with the way it all ended and how it's still unfolding.
We're live tonight now, those headlines reaching here to Metro Detroit. Let's talk about Jordan Jones, 21-year-old Clark University student being held without bond tonight. Apparently, from the court documents we've seen, she was also writing on her Instagram pretty much the moment her roommate went missing that she hoped that she would be found. Well, she was found, and apparently her boyfriend is talking a lot to police. He's charged in this. Jones also charged in this. Case is now rapidly moving forward. Back to you.
Sean, has Jones been in any trouble before, or is this out of the blue?
Her father apparently traveled to Atlanta as soon as these charges hit here and told the courts that she has a DUI from up here in Metro Detroit. That's the only thing on her record.
That's it. All right, we'll continue to follow it. All right, Sean.
Wow. All right, well, it's gotten a little bit warmer outside, I guess.
Has it?
Yeah, it's from this morning. Come on, play along with me.
Okay, sure. Let's go with that.
We're going to see how we're looking tomorrow, Ben. And
I'm sure my sensors are strong enough to have caught that.
Well, look, Kim's right. I mean, when you start at 7:22 is, I mean, that's a celebration compared to where we were this morning. The good news is we've seen the worst of the cold. Numbers are actually going up as we get later into the forecast. And in fact, tonight, we're actually going to see our temperatures rise through the night until we hit to tomorrow morning, where we're going to be in the mid-20s to start out the day. Wind chills, though, make it feel a whole lot different. There's still a noticeable wind taking a bite out of things. Feels like single digits in a lot of areas that are north of 8 Mile right now. So in addition to the rising temperatures, we get a little bit more moisture. We'll produce a few snowflakes overnight. We're not looking for any accumulation. However, the snow is going to continue in some spots for the morning commute. So we'll look at the timing on that and also check out some warmer temperatures coming later in the forecast, all ahead in the 7-day outlook. Don't forget to download our local forecasters app. It is brand new and it is free in your app store by searching WDIV. Guys?
A 13-year-old girl is killed in a tragic snowmobile accident in Oakland County. It happened in Independence Township in the area of Whipple Lake and Easton Road. We're told the girl was riding with a 13-year-old boy. The pair was following behind the boy's father when they suddenly crashed into the back of his snowmobile, causing the girl to fly off. She was wearing a helmet, but died from her injuries.
I seen one snowmobile on the edge with someone laying on the ground, and another person, that snowmobile was kind of in the middle of the road. Another person was checking the person out that was on the ground.
Well, we are hearing from the girls' school tonight. In a statement, the school's superintendent says, quote, "We were devastated to learn of the tragic death of one of our students. Our heartfelt condolences go to the family and friends."
Just last week, the new head of the UAW promised he would root out corruption in the union, and tonight we're learning more about how he plans to do that. We bring in our business editor, Rod Maloney. Rod, there are several major changes coming.
This is impressive and outside-the-box stuff, Devin. Now, I'm going to show you the building behind me here. It's the Center for Human Resources on the river in Detroit, GM UAW. As part of the national contract, they'd already agreed to sell off this property and move this entire program because of the alleged corruption that the feds say happened here. In the meantime, when I spoke to Rory Gamble just last week, he told me to expect radical change.
And that's going to cause some heartburn.
Interim UAW President Rory Gamble promised last week and today announced he'll establish an independent ethics ombudsman position, an outsider paid to investigate any and all UAW corruption complaints. A nationwide search begins immediately. Though the feds demand restitution, the union will now seek its own recovery of union funds from those found guilty of corruption. Gamble told us last week also that he wanted to install stringent financial controls. Today he announced he's going to hire independent public accounting firms to safeguard union dues. Gamble ordered a permanent ban on purchase of promotional items using joint program funds and an end to union charitable contributions to UAW leadership charities. Finally, he wants an ethics hotline for members to call in complaints. It all stems from UAW GM Vice President Joe Ashton's expected guilty plea to wire fraud. His closest aides, Jeff Peterzik and Mike Grimes, already did, and they're headed to prison. Region 5 Director Vance Pearson and his closest aide Edward Nick Robinson indicted. Their problems in the search of then UAW President Gary Jones' home led to Jones's decision to step aside.
There are things that are really out of the box for us because, you know, our union is very traditional and sacred. But to survive coming out of this, those are things that we're going to have to do.
And to survive, he means prevent the federal government from coming in and taking over the union. In the meantime, Gamble has done one last thing. He's poked a for sale sign into the lawn of what's known as Cabin 4. That's a custom-built cabin up on Black Lake in Sheboygan County that is designed and built for former President Dennis Williams and his wife. I should say here that Williams has not been charged with any crime. Reporting live in Detroit, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Well, the first public impeachment hearing against President Donald Trump took place today. It's just the fourth impeachment investigation into an American president. Both Democrats and Republicans making their cases for and against impeachment related to the president halting military aid to Ukraine. Today's public hearings featuring two career diplomats, including U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine William Taylor, testifying Trump froze U.S. aid for an investigation into his political rivals.
A member of my staff asked Ambassador Sondland what President Trump thought about Ukraine. Ambassador Sondland responded that President Trump cares more about the investigations of Biden to withhold that assistance for no good reason other than help with the political campaign made no sense. It could not be explained. It was crazy.
Well, following the public hearing, President Trump weighed in on the entire impeachment investigation.
I hear it's a joke. I haven't watched for 1 minute. I want to find out who is the whistleblower. And because the whistleblower gave a lot of very incorrect information, including my call with the president of Ukraine.
More public hearings are scheduled for this week and next.
Former MSU football star Malik McDowell will not be seen on an NFL field anytime soon. Today, McDowell learned his sentence for a fight with police at a gas station this past February. Coco McAvoy tells us an apology by McDowell in court was not enough to avoid more time behind bars.
Former Michigan State football star Malik McDowell apologetic in court today.
Very remorseful. The apologies from the bottom of my heart.
After this video showing one of McDowell's lowest moments, he goes toe-to-toe with a Lathrop Village police officer trying to arrest him, knocking over items in the gas station along the way. Today, he says he wants to redeem himself.
If you give me a chance, I'll definitely gonna do better.
McDowell is a free agent and says he wants to get his life back on track, including going to the NFL.
I'm doing everything I can do to get back to where I was, back to the NFL or any other sports that will have me.
The judge sentenced McDowell, but not before giving him a few pointers on what to do next.
So as a person with that divine spark, you make yourself a better person with each and every passing day. And if you flaunt the law, if you disregard that opportunity, you're going to end up in a cage for years, for the rest of your life. I don't want to see that happen.
McDowell has had some time in jail to think about what he did and how to move forward.
Thank you, Judge. You're welcome.
And he will spend the next year in jail and also have 3 years probation. Reporting live this evening, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
All right, Coco.
All right, ahead for us in good health, the heart problem you may carry a higher risk for depending on your height.
Interesting. Also, with their fields covered in snow, Michigan farmers forced to just sit and wait to harvest the crops they spent so long growing. We'll show you how they're going to cope next.